Okay, chapter 18 is called The Diary, and it's a pretty anticipated chapter because we're going to get a chance to take a look at the diary, which JD had handed down to him from his family. I will also post the pages from the diary in Classroom so you have a chance to check them out and look at them as well. JD lived in a big, old two-story wood house with a wide front porch facing a lawn that looked as if it was maintained by goats. The sprawling interior was a random jumble of worn furniture, books, laundry, cardboard boxes, magazines, CD cases, and music paraphernalia. "You live here alone?" said Sarah. "Yep," said JD. "Are you, like, rich?" said Aidan. "I am comfortable," said JD, "thanks to an inheritance." "How many guitars do you have?" said Aidan, surveying the living room, where at least 3 Fender Stratocasters poked their necks out of the clutter. JD frowned. 11? No, wait, 12. "Do you play?" said Sarah. "Badly." "You guys hungry?" "Yeah," said Sarah. "I ordered some pizza," said JD. You don't want to know what's in the refrigerator. Pepperoni okay with everybody?" "And extra cheese," said Aidan. "Could you get the diary first?" said Sarah. "You're in a hurry." "Yeah." "Okay," and JD tromped upstairs, returning 2 minutes later with a slim-bound book in plain brown leather. He handed it to Sarah, who held it in both hands, looking at it reverently. "I can't believe it," she said. "Molly's diary." "So you say," said JD, "but Mary was the name I was given." "She actually touched this. She actually wrote in it." "I have something else you might be interested in," said JD. "I'd forgotten about it. It was in the same box as the diary." "What is it?" said Sarah, eagerly. "This," said JD, digging into his pocket. He pulled out a gold chain, which was threaded through a small golden sphere with a tiny hinge and clasp. He handed it to Sarah, who stared at it in disbelief. "Her locket! An actual Starcatcher locket!" "You're awfully dramatic, you know that," said JD. Tell me about it," said Aidan. "Is there anything inside?" said Sarah, fumbling with the clasp. "Because the Starcatchers use the—" "There's nothing in it. I checked." "Do you mind if I wear it while I read Molly's diary?" said Sarah. JD waved it away. "Keep it. And good luck figuring out that diary. I'll go order the pizza." Sarah cleared a space on the ancient sofa and plopped down, took a breath, and opened the diary. The paper had yellowed with age, but the writing was a neat, compact cursive in black ink and quite legible. And so this is what will get posted into Classroom, and the authors very cleverly switched the font so that it looks like Molly's diary. "Dear reader, I cannot know who you are. I can only hope that because you have been entrusted with this diary, you understand the importance of our mission and share our commitment to it. These pages recount certain events that occurred in 1905 and subsequently. Our organization, which few of us have remained, have agreed that it has become necessary to isolate the island permanently." Now I'm going to take a time out. You obviously know the island. If you isolate something, you move it where no one can get to it. Okay? "Our concern was twofold. First, to protect the island and its citizens from the outside, who were finding their way to its shores with increasing frequency. And second, to guard against the danger that the material on the island, to our knowledge, the last large store of it left on Earth, would be discovered and fall into the wrong hands. We believe we have defeated our enemy, but we have not exterminated him, gotten rid of him. He survives in the shadows, much weakened, but still is a threat against which we must remain vigilant. As I write these words, our efforts concerning the island appear to have succeeded, thanks to the great generosity and unique genius of E. It is our belief that the island and the material are now permanently safe. However, we have decided to leave this record of our activities in the event that it might be useful for future members of our organization. I trust, dear reader, that your interest in the diary stems only from idle curiosity. If you have a more pressing reason for reading it, and I hope not, that a problem has arisen that we did not foresee, it is my fervent hope that these pages are helpful to you, and that you are able, as generations have us before you, to meet the challenge you face. Sincerely and hopefully, Mary Astor Darling. "Wow," said Sarah. What, said Aidan, who was attempting so far without success to tune a 1969 guitar with a sunburnt finish. This, Aidan, she's talking about the island. What island, said JD, returning from the pizza ordering. Neverland, it must be. Read this letter. She handed the diary and opened the first page to JD, who read it with Aidan over his shoulder. She's definitely right about the enemy not being exterminated, said Aidan. We've seen that for ourselves. But who's this E? I don't know, said Sarah, but I'm sure the island is Neverland. So another time out. This is another classic case of what the authors like to do where we have more information than the characters do. So if you think back to the beginning of the book when we had the character who we thought was Molly going to speak with someone, and you think about who that someone was at the beginning of the book and what his name was, you'll find that it starts with the letter E. So we now know that Molly was talking to that person in the book. We know who she was talking to, but Aidan and Sarah do not. You actually think the island exists, said JD? Yeah. With the flying boy and the pirates? And mermaids, said JD. You really believe that, Sarah? Did you believe you were floating back at your office? Okay, so let's say there really is a Neverland. Where is it? We have satellites now, Sarah. They've mapped out the entire world. We can see every speck of land. How come nobody knows where this island is? That's the point. That's what the diary is saying. They didn't want people to find it, so they did something. They isolated it. What does that even mean? How do you isolate an island? I don't know. But it's in here, she said, taking out the diary, and I'm going to find out. Now we switch scenes back to Lester Armstrong. Lester sped north on I-95, pushing his Escalade as fast as he dared. It had taken him several frustrating hours or so to sort things out with the Ben Salem Township Police Department. But finally, after checking out his references and calling the Coopers in Pittsburgh, the police agreed to release him without charges. Lester was free, but furious. He considered himself very good at what he did, and yet a 15-year-old boy had gotten away from him easily and made him look like a fool. Next time, kid, thought Lester, you're mine. The one good thing was that a police sergeant had agreed, after hearing a plea over the phone from a sobbing Natalie Cooper, to put out a missing children bulletin, which had been broadcast with photos of Sarah and Aidan on the Philadelphia TV station. The bulletin quickly produced a good lead. A motorcycle shop owner called to say that Aidan had gotten a ride with one of his workers to a Princeton public library. The Princeton police had been alerted, and Lester was on his way there now, grimly determined to track down his quarry, especially the boy who made him look bad. You're mine, kid. In a park near a town in Indiana, Pennsylvania, about 50 miles east of Pittsburgh, a 3-year-old boy pointed at the late afternoon sky. Birds, he said. The boy's parents looked up from their picnic, the meal of barbecued chicken and potato salad. My goodness, said the mother. Wow, said the father, that's a lot of birds. They were coming from the west, hundreds of them, flying in a densely packed group, looking almost like a fast-moving cloud. They flew low, so low that the family could hear their wings beating, so low that as they approached, the mother felt the need to pull the little boy close to her. The large black birds swarmed overhead in a rush of wind, their mass momentarily blocking the sun. The family watched silently as the swarm swept east, disappearing over a hill and leaving the park sunny and quiet again. What the heck was that? Said the father. I've never seen anything like it, said the mother. Birds, said the boy. Yes, said mother. The birds. And that's the end of the chapter. So a really good chapter where we get some more leads on where we might finally unlock some Neverland things. And also, I like how Lester's situation with Aidan kind of parallels Peter and Captain Hook's situation, where he's kind of out for revenge and wants to stop at nothing for being embarrassed by someone younger than him. And then, of course, the final scene with the birds is setting up, letting you know that Ambra is kind of still lurking and also on the hunt for Aidan and Sarah. So we are getting close to halfway, if not halfway. And tomorrow is Friday, but I'll still try to put up a read aloud for you so that if you want to kind of keep up with the story, you're able to.